folks, welcome back to the channel. I just bought this little amp for next to nothing. I'm going to clean it up and see how it functions. I may take it apart a little bit and just look inside. Let's see how this goes. Well, first things first, I'll just use like a Clorox wipe or something to kind of just, wet down the surface and get a lot of the, the dust and the initial grime off. I think I'm going to have to get in here with a toothbrush and get some of it out. Another thing that I'm probably going to do, well actually I am going to do it, is take off this handle so that I can get the grime out from underneath it. It's just impossible to get way down in all those crevices because, the handle's collapsible for one thing, and quite a bit of grime can get underneath these caps on the ends. Yeah, that's gross under there. Might as well polish the chrome while I'm at it. And now I can reinstall this handle. Alright, next I'm going to see if I can deal with this big stain. I got some of it off with the Clorox wipe, but it just looks like it's going to prove a little bit more difficult than that. And I want to use something that's not going to mess up the particle board underneath. So I think what I'm going to try is some denatured alcohol that will evaporate really quickly. I've got a little bit of a split here in the vinyl. It's not that bad. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to glue it back down. Well, I went from cleaning up some joints and super gluing some stuff, which I'm still doing, by the way. I'm letting that dry. But I went further and took the guts of the amp out. So the reason I did that is because I noticed that this input jack, which is one of these plastic, crappy, late 90s, early 2000s Fender input jacks, they inevitably do fail. But this one had the insert fall out. You can see this gold sort of insert on this headphone jack. This one's insert is falling out completely. So I'm going to replace that. I don't have another crappy plastic input jack, so I'm just going to try to put a regular input jack in it. So when you go to take one of these apart, you have to be careful of a couple of things. First of all, obviously unplug it. Second of all, these big caps here can hold quite a bit of electricity. In fact, all of them can, but these two are the worst. So just make sure with your voltmeter that you've got all the voltage discharged, and if you don't, just short the two legs of the caps across with a resistor and take the voltage out. So I've done that on these. I've checked to make sure that there is no voltage. I have to take this board out, and when I get the board out, I'll be able to get to the bottom of the legs on this input jack. Okay, now I just need to do a little testing to figure out which one of these pins was the center, the pin, and which one of the pins is the ring on the outside. Well, I guess I could have started testing this before I even started cleaning it up, but I don't think this jack works at all. It's only got connectivity to this back pin here, which I think is the tip, but the ring does not have any connectivity at all. And I think partly that's because it's missing that insert that I was talking about. So I was trying to test out the other jack to see if I could determine which one was the correct pin, but that's a stereo jack and this is a mono jack, so it's a little bit different. I'm going to keep going on this. I'll Google and see if I can figure it out, and I'll also probably rip the top off this thing and see if I can figure out where it would look like it was supposed to be. Well, these little amps are cheap, but they will do the job. I went ahead and got that input jack replaced. I'll put a still picture in the video of that jack the way it looks right now. And I reassembled to put the speaker back in, put the head back in, got all the screws back in, polished a couple of the corners up. Really got, you know, everything just spick and span. Got that junky spot off the front, and everything looks good now. You know, it's not a valuable amp, but, you know, there's some satisfaction in cleaning it up and getting it working again, and it'll be a great little bedroom amp for some kid in the future. So these little things have pretty decent clean tones. But they really suck at distortion. They're just muddy and dirty. It does sound a whole lot better, I will say, with the back cover on. So don't take that off if you have one of these amps. But anyway, they're designed with a couple of ports to help increase the bass, and they really need it. So anyway, that's just a quick note about these. This one's all cleaned up and ready to move on to a new owner. If you like my videos, be sure to hit the like button and leave me a comment. You can also subscribe to the channel, and I've got a new handle now. It's at Hacks Guitar Hobby. So if you want to share that with your friends, feel free. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks a lot.